This is the part 2 of the workflow series. Here we will see how we can design and configure a workflow. So your workflow will start with submitting the loan application. Submitting a loan application requires human intervention, so we will use a user task. After submitting a loan application, the next step would be getting the credit score. So here we are configuring a service task which will call a third-party API to give us credit score for the user. After getting the credit score, the next step would be evaluating the user's eligibility for the loan. For that, we have designed a set of rules in a rule service, and we are going to invoke those rules using a business rule task. Based on the output of the business rule task, we have to make a decision on which path the workflow should take. We can send it to approved, rejected, or in review. So for getting the application reviewed, we have to notify the reviewer that there is an application pending for his review. For notifications, we are using a message node. This will send an email to the reviewer stating that this application has been pending for his review. Next again, a user task for a user action from the reviewer. In case of approval, we will send an email to the users stating that your application has been approved. And in case of rejection, we will send a rejection email. And based on the reviewer action, we can also approve or reject the loan. Now, like every good workflow, we will use the end node at the end of workflow. Now to make the workflow look good, I will align all the nodes in the workflow using align menu options. So after designing the entire workflow, now it's time to configure each of these nodes with the services they are going to invoke or the actions they are going to perform. So our workflow will start in submitted state or the loan submitted state. So we'll mention that state in the first user task. We can also add other validation criteria for this user task. In the next task, we are invoking integration service called loan application and the operation called credit score. For this operation, we will provide input and output parameters. So this service is expecting SSN as input parameter. Here you can see a set of namespaces like identity, device request, and so on. These namespaces determine where the data is coming from. If the data is coming from device or a client tab, we use device request. Or if the data is coming from a backend service, we use backend response. Fabric workflow context acts like a cache, which is maintained throughout the life of the workflow instance. You can learn more about these namespaces through documentation. In our case, since we have SSN number stored in the linked object, we will use backend response and the field name. The service is giving credit rating and credit length as output. We will dump the entire payload into a variable inside Fabric workflow context. The next node is loan eligibility check. Here we are calling a rule service and a rule inside it. The service is expecting credit rating and credit length as input. In the previous node, we dumped them in Fabric workflow context. So here we will fetch it from there. In the output, this service is giving status and interest rate. We will dump these into Fabric workflow context in a different variable. So this is rule service we have configured for the workflow, and here we are making some decisions based on the credit rating and credit history. So the status can be either rejected, approved, or in review. And if it is approved, we will also get the interest rate. Here you can see the input and output parameters of the service. At the exclusive gateway, the output of the rule service will decide which path the workflow should take. For that, we will give some conditions on the outgoing flows of the exclusive gateway. This is very similar to any other query builder. You can perform and or operations. You can specify a set of conditions and even create condition groups. So here we will check whether the rule service has sent the status as approved or not. Similarly, we will write the condition for rejected as well as in review. Now to notify the reviewer about the application that is pending for his review, we will send an email to him. For reviewer to make any decision, he needs some data about the loan application. Like in this case, we will pass in the credit rating and the credit history. Here you can see we have used some dollar parameters for score and history. We can pass the values for this at the runtime. We will map them with the output variable of credit score service, which was stored in Fabric workflow context. Next is the user task. Reviewer can either approve or reject the loan, and based on that, the workflow will transition to either of these states. We can mention these states in the user task. You can provide multiple states in a comma separated format. Now, based on the reviewer action, the workflow can take either of the approved or rejected paths. Since reviewer action is updating the workflow state, which is getting stored in the linked object, we will evaluate the state field in the linked object at this exclusive gateway. Similarly, we will check for the rejected case. In case the application is approved, we will send an email to the user stating that the loan application has been approved. You can also pass additional information like rate and tenure of the loan. We will send a similar email in case the application got rejected. And we will save the workflow. Now since we opted for the default object, we need to add fields in the object to store user details. A click on the object name will take us to the Object tab. Here we will add the fields. A click on the workflow name will take us back to the Workflow tab. Now we will publish the workflow. This was one way of designing the workflow, where we designed the workflow first and then linked it to an object. The other way of designing workflow is through the object screen. In the object, when you create a field and change its type to workflow state, you get two options: create new workflow or use existing. With the use existing option, you can link the object to any existing workflow. The create new option will take you to an empty workflow canvas and link it to this object automatically. In this part, we have designed and configured our workflow. In the next part, we will see how we can execute the workflow we just designed.